Hi guys, I'm Pixel. I'm going to do a short tutorial under 30 minutes on how to make this piano skirt. I've been kind of seeing pianos, like piano theme things trending lately, especially skirts. My inspiration for this piano skirt was the nanny. She has a whole dress, but I don't know how to make a dress, so I just settled for a skirt. I thought it was so cute. Now, I do have another tutorial on how to make the same piano skirt, but without the black part, like just this part with a waistband. So if you want to watch that instead, I do have another tutorial. If you don't want to watch a long tutorial at all and you're not really a beginner, you're like more advanced, so you can like kind of look at something and kind of just get the pattern from there. I do have a 30-second tutorial. It's just not in depth if you want to watch that as well. It's on my page in my shorts somewhere. Okay, so some need to know information I think is that there's a lot of like variations with the skirt that you can do. Like, you do not have to have the same waistband that I have. You can do any waistband. You don't have to have like your black piano keys at the top. You can sew it on the bottom instead. You don't have to do everything that I do. I tell you that throughout the tutorial. Like these parts, you don't have to even add these lines or dividers, I guess, so don't worry about it. I do ask if you make any variation of the skirt using my pattern, at least do tag me. I definitely do want to see, especially if it's in a different color, because brown, like even like a latte or some kind of coffee brown would be so cute with this white. I kind of wanted to do mine in brown, but I hesitated. Also, like a velvet in white. Please tag me if you do, or if you get like any inspiration from this video. I would love to see. Okay, so let's just get into it. Okay, materials I used was white red heart yarn, weight 4, black red heart yarn, weight 4 as well, and then this part is optional, you guys will see later, but for the dividers, if you do them in the pattern, I used weight 3 yarn, scissors, a 5mm hook, a stitch marker, and a sewing needle. Okay, jumping into our waistband, you're going to do a slip knot, and how much you chain will determine on how thick your waistband is going to be. So I'm going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to skip the one on the hook and single crochet into the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then at the end of each row that we do, I'm going to chain 1 at the end and turn my work. And next, for every row, we're also going to go into the back loops only. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to see because it's black yarn, but this is the front loop and this is the back loop. Okay, and we're going to single crochet in the back loops. And we're just going to repeat this where we chain 1 at the end of the row, turn our work, and then single crochet in the back loops only. And you're going to do that for as many rows as it takes to reach around your waist, plus an extra inch just in case. Okay, I finished my waistband. This is how it's looking. Kind of has a slight stretch to it, and you can kind of see the effect of going into the back loops only with it. Now we're gonna fold our waistband and make sure when we fold it, it is not twisted. Okay, and I'm gonna go into the last chain 1 that I ended with. I'm still gonna go into that loop, and we're gonna go back into our foundation chain. So I'm gonna go into the first chain that we started with. Sorry if it's hard to see because it's black yarn, but the first chain we started with, and I'm gonna go into the back loop of the stitch that we ended on. Okay, which I feel like I can barely even see, so I'm sorry. And we're gonna pull through all of the loops, including the one on the hook. Okay, and we're gonna do that all the way down. So chain the foundation chain and then the back loop of the stitch. and then pull through all the loops. Okay, and that's basically how it's just gonna look. I think doing that instead of just like regularly sewing it kind of makes it so you don't know where the start and the end is, because it kind of blends in with the rest of your stitches, at least in my opinion. Okay, since we already have this loop right here, I'm going to chain up 2, and this is basically where we start making the black part of the skirt. We're going to do half double crochet all the way around, but when you're inserting your half double crochets, make sure they aren't like an inch apart. So like, don't half double crochet here and then half double crochet an inch over here. That's gonna cause your waistband to like cave in, and there might be holes in between your stitches. What I do recommend is, since we just did the waist part and we're now like kind of getting to the hips, is to add maybe an increase every 15 or so. This is definitely something where you want to do trial and error on your own body with. So trying it on as you go will help and determine like where you need to add increases and how many. I recommend doing it by 5s, like 10, 15, or 20, because you don't want too many, because then it'll cause your skirt to ruffle a lot. Sorry. So it should be something consistent like this, okay? And then, like I said, we're kind of wanting it to like get bigger. I mean, you do not have to, but that's what I'm doing. If you want it to kind of like be a little bigger size for the butt, you're gonna want to add a couple increases here and there. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning of my row, and this is what it's looking like so far. You can kind of see it like shaping to be a skirt, because it's kind of like rounded at the top right here because of the increases that I put. And you can kind of see where I put the increases, just because there's like a little hump in some places. Anyway, when we're going into the next row, to avoid making a seam, we're not going to slip stitch into our first stitch. Okay, doing that will create a seam, at least in my experience it does. So we're just going to half double crochet right into the first stitch that we started with. Okay, we're gonna skip the chain 2 and go straight into the first half double crochet we started with, and then we're just going to half double crochet again. You might want to put a stitch marker where that first stitch is, so you know. This is essentially what we're doing for the rest of this black part. We're just going to half double crochet all the way around and add increases where it's needed. I suggest if you have a little bit more in the back that you add a couple more increases so it fits your body type. And if you don't have as much in the back, then you probably don't need as many increases. And when you get to a point where like you're like, okay, this fits pretty good, you can stop adding increases for those rows. Like for me, I'm probably gonna add increases for only 3 rows, and then I'm gonna make it to my desired length. And I will tell you guys what my desired length is, my measurements, and the measurements of the skirt as well. So don't worry if you guys like want to compare. I will tell you guys. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna increase for like 3 rows, and then after my 3 rows, I'm gonna make it to, I don't know how many rows I'm gonna do yet, but after I'm done with my increases, I will just stop increasing and continue doing just one single half double crochet in each stitch. Okay, and I'll come back when I get to that point. Okay guys, I just finished my skirt. I'm done. My skirt came to be about 6 inches long. I'm 5'1", and that's like from waist to thigh, that's about It's like mid-thigh to me, for me. And when I add on the piano, it'll be like just above my knees. That's how it's gonna fit me personally. Okay, so if you want to make as many rows as you can, I did a total of 12 rows and three increasing rows in that 12 rows. So 9 regular rows, no increasing of half double crochet, and then 3 half double crochet increasing rows where I did it like every 15 or so. If you added on more so I could like kind of ruffle, I feel like that'll be cute. It'll be fine. I don't know how it'll come out with the piano, but if you did it, it's no big deal. Before we get to our white part, we're gonna go ahead and tie this off by just going into the next stitch and doing a slip stitch. And then I'm gonna take my scissors, cut and pull, okay? And then we can weave in our ends or tie it, okay? Okay, so I'm going to take my white yarn and I'm going to chain 26. If you want to add more or less chains, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. The reason why I stopped at 26 is because I want that extra chain that we're not going to go into. We're going to skip the chain on the hook and we're going to half double crochet 1 in each chain. Okay, I'm on my last half double crochet. Again, if you want to make your chain smaller or bigger, you can. This is how long mine is, 6 inches. So it's going to be like, this part's going to be kind of small for me. At the end of every row, you're going to want to chain 1 and turn your work, okay? And that's exactly what we're going to do for this whole round, is half double crochet 1 in each stitch, and at the end of each row, chain 1 and turn your work. And you're going to do that for as many rows wrap around your waist. Okay, so here is how the white part came out. It stretches out to 30 inches. When it's not stretched, it's about 27 inches. So you just keep going until it fits around your waist, okay? Now I'm going to sew them together. You can also slip stitch, but I'm just going to show you how I do it, how I sew it together. So I haven't tied off, as you can see. I'm not going to yet. I'm just going to quickly like measure how much I need to sew the two together. So I'm taking my yarn and just going down, and I'm going to add like a couple more inches just in case. I feel like that could be like 5 or 6 inches just in case, a long tail. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to, I ended with a half double crochet. I'm just going to pull that all the way out, okay? And then I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to put it in my sewing needle, and that's what I'm going to use to sew these pieces together, okay? So I'm going to go into the, I guess, back loop of my last stitch and my first foundation chain, okay? Then I'm going to go in my second foundation chain and my second stitch in the back loop of the stitch. Okay, you see how this is the back stitch and then this is both stitches? Okay, so I'm just going to go through the back one. Okay. I'm going to go through the back one and the third one and the third stitch. Then I'm going to go through my third foundation chain. Okay. And we're basically just going to do that all the way down. Okay. Okay, so this is how it came out. I want to make sure it's not scrunched, so I'm just going to pull it through. See, this is what it looks like if it's a little scrunched. So we leave a long tail, that way we can make it a bit more flexible and manipulate it a bit. Okay, And once we're done, we can go ahead and weave in this tail or cut and tie it off. Same with this tail up here, okay? And then I'm gonna kind of, I guess, turn it inside out. And this is going to be just the back of my skirt, okay? Or you can cover it up with the keys. Speaking of keys, we're going to start on the keys now. For black keys, you can chain however long you want them to be. I'm going to chain 13. So start off with the slip knot, then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm going to skip the chain on the hook and half double crochet 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 1, cut, and pull through. And that's how we're going to make each one of our keys, okay? So you're going to make as many keys as you need, okay? And as you make your keys, I would kind of place them where you want them to be. So like if you want a key here, 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 like just going like that, like every other row for our white, that's fine. I just kind of like map out where you want your keys, or if you want it to like replicate a piano more and do like 3 keys, like 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have a divider, 1, 2, divider, 1, 2, 3, you know. Just map that out while you finish your keys. I'll be back when I'm done and then we can sew them on. So I did total of 15. There's 8 on the back and 7 on the front. And this is what I meant by like having the piano pattern. See how I did like 2, 3, 2? I'm also going to show you guys the dividers I was talking about. By dividers I meant like just a line. It won't exactly be a stitch, but just a line here. And you can also add them to on top of the keys or under the keys like this. You guys kind of see what the look I'm going for. So when sewing your black keys, you're going to want to take your black yarn and you're going to want to get like a long tail. You're going to want it to be longer than the piece that you're sewing down. So I'd say like the tail end that you want to leave should be the same size as the piece that you're sewing, at least for this. Also, I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my voice over I've been losing my voice over these last few days. So I'm gonna take my piece of thread and my sewing needle, and I'm gonna start under my project. I'm not going to go straight in on the top. I'm going to go under, and I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to go on the top of the key. Okay, I'm not going to pull all the way through because I'm going to be tying my thread onto one of my stitches or with my loose ends. And then I'm just going to hop over to the next stitch. I'm going to try to focus it on the black yarn. I know it's kind of hard to see, but basically I'm just going stitch by stitch. So when I'm going under, I'm going into the next stitch, okay? And make sure when you're sewing, you're not like going all the way over here trying to sew into it, okay? Make sure to keep it pretty straight, okay? My thread came out because it's so short. But having a longer piece of thread is what makes it easier. That's why I made it a little bit longer than the other ones. Okay, I'm waiting for it to focus because it's black yarn, so I already know it's kind of hard to see. I'm going into the next stitch, Same with underneath, going into that next stitch. And I'm basically just doing that all the way down, okay? When we end it here, we're going to want to make sure it's down, okay? Okay, so just some clarification on what I meant by like when we go down. So I'm kind of on my last stitch and I'm gonna come up and though I don't really have another stitch to like layer on top, I'm just gonna go to the side. I'm gonna go back into the side or just in the stitch right before it. This is so that way we can tie our ends in the inside without it being very noticeable, okay? And as you can see, I tried to put pins where I wanted them, but they're not staying down because I don't have enough stitch markers. But that's basically what we're going to do for each one. And you see, like, it pretty much holds its shape. Like, it's not coming out, okay? unlike the ones that aren't sewn down, okay? So I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so I have finished sewing on all my little bits, all my little black keys. Next, this is optional. I just want to say it's optional if you want to put your keys down here, or if you want to like put them at the top, or just flip it over, make it the top. That's perfectly fine. Do what you like. This part is also optional, to take your black yarn and add dividers and like the little piece right here. You guys know what I'm talking about, like the little piece on the piano where it kind of divides the keys. Now, to make it a little tighter than my other stitches, I used a smaller hook. This is D. I don't know what size D is, but it's pretty small. I feel like it might be like 3. I'm not sure, but compared to what I was using, it's pretty small, okay? But if you want, you can continue to use this hook. I just want my stitches to come out a little bit smaller on it. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the top. We're gonna do service crochet, so I'm gonna go into the top. I'm gonna put it through. See, I haven't weaved in all my ends in the back, but I'm gonna take the yarn. I'm just gonna pull it through, and I guess we're gonna do slip stitches each time we pull. I kind of have to just feel for the yarn to see if it's on the hook, or to feel if it's on the hook. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna try to make it into a straight line. See how I'm just going in between my stitches? We don't want to like make it too big either. Like, we don't want to go all the way up here, okay? And after the first few times, you start kind of like feeling it and getting the hang of it. Okay. And I'm just gonna like chain 1 at the end. See? And basically I'm going to do that to each one right here, like to each key, okay? And then I'm also going to do it in between my keys as well. When you do it like starting down here, you're just going to start with a chain and in with a chain like we just did. After you're done with that chain, you're just going to want to cut it off and then pull it through like we did before. So when starting, if you're doing a divider down here as well, just gonna put my hook through, and I'm gonna chain 1. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm gonna take the yarn and chain 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back over to my next stitch, to the next place I'm going in, and I'm just gonna surface crochet all the way down again. Okay, Okay, so I am done with the piano part of my skirt. I've sewed and crocheted everything on. Don't be like me and not weave in your ends as you go along, okay? So time for the easy part, adding the black part onto the white part. So I would turn both parts inside out. First, you're gonna decide if you want your keys to be at the bottom of your skirt or the top of your skirt, because you can sew it on either way, with what I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna do this on the bottom. I'm gonna have my keys on the bottom. I wish I could zoom out a little bit more, but I don't really have the tools for it too much, without it being like too blurry for you guys. So you can barely even see the black yarn. It kind of looks like a fluff. So you're going to flip them both. Okay, sorry sorry, mine kind of messy, but I promise it's still easy, and I'll show you how you do it. Okay, flipping my skirt too. This is so that it doesn't show when you're sewing it together. Okay, you can use your black or your white yarn to stitch it together. I'm going to use my white yarn, and you're going to take a piece of thread that is longer than your skirt. So this is half my skirt, so I'm going to get another half, and then I'm going to get a couple more inches, like another half of my skirt, okay? And then I'm going to cut that off. Okay, and I'm going to put it through my needle. Okay. And you can really start anywhere. I'm just gonna dive right in, and we're gonna align it. Now, we are not going to go into our front loop with this, okay? For the skirt, all right? That way the white yarn does not show through the black piece, okay? So just starting in, for my white piece, I'm gonna go through it, and I'm gonna go in this back loop. I'm not gonna go into the loop that will show, okay? And I'm gonna do that all the way down, okay? Back loop. And since my white part doesn't really have loops, I can pretty much go into any spot that I want, but you don't want it to be like all the way over here, or like going into what you just went into, okay? Try to line it up with each other. And I'm gonna sew a little bit further and then show you guys what this sewing, I guess, technique looks like, okay? Okay, so I've just done like 2 or 3 inches so far, and I just want to show you guys what it looks like on the other side. It looks kind of weird since it's not all the way done. But this is like the outcome. You see how like you can't see the white on the black part because we're avoiding the front stitches here, especially when you like pull it when you're done sewing it. You're just gonna do that all the way around your skirt, okay? Oh my gosh, I want to wear it already. Okay, I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so after sewing, this is what my my skirt came out looking. It's so cute. If you want, you can add stuff to it, like if you want to add a chain running through the waistband or something to make it like a little adjustable belt, or single crochet the bottom. I've seen a couple people do that as well. But that's pretty much the end on what I'm going to do with the skirt. If you guys remake, definitely tag me. I definitely want to see all the kinds of skirts, especially if it's a different color, or if you did like something I said was optional, like putting your keys, your black keys at the bottom. I just want to see different variations of it too as well. So definitely tag me if you guys recreate. I would love to see. Okay, now that we're done, I want to show you guys the accessories and the the shoes that I got. They're so cute. They didn't have my size, but I bought them anyway because they're just so perfect. Hello, look, they match, guys. They match. And I got my friend, she gave me free nails for Christmas. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Bye.